Well, kids, it happened. The NHL is finally pausing itself. That's okay, though. We'll find things to talk about. There will be one more game. The Philadelphia Flyers are in town. We'll get to that and more here on Locked On Caps.
Your Locked On Capitals, your daily podcast on the Washington Capitals. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
And hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to another episode of Locked On Capitals. For now, I'm your host, the Inside of the Insiders, Tyler Kuehl. Yeah, guys, that it's true. The NHL is officially going to pause early over the Christmas break. Now, we'll get to what it means for the entire league, what it means for the Washington Capitals. But like I said, as it stands, there will be a hockey game between the Washington Capitals and the Philadelphia Flyers. That's because of when the NHL is going to be pausing its schedule. We'll get to all that and more here in just a moment's time. But first, gotta say thank you very much for making Locked On Capitals your first listen and first watch of the day and every day. And as you guys probably figured it out by now, free and available on all platforms. Let's get to the nitty gritty right now. The NHL has made the announcement. They are going to pause the season. However, it's not going to be for a week. It's not going to be for 2 weeks. It's just going to be for a few days. Now, this comes, of course, amid the massive surge of COVID cases, which we have definitely talked about. In fact, I'm making my Locked On NHL podcast, the national show, debut on this Tuesday. Unfortunately, Mike DiStefano and we recorded the episode, unfortunately, because we have very busy schedules. We recorded it prior to the announcement. So it's not totally outdated because there's other stuff involved. We talk about some good stuff that happened over the weekend. Robin Leonard returning to Long Island, Jack Drury and his great debut with the Carolina Hurricanes, and we give up our latest power ranking. So not totally out of date, but in terms of why the NHL is not pausing, well, that's kind of a little bit out of date, but it's okay. So pretty much what it means is the league is going to postpone from December 22nd until December 27th or through December 25th, which means that they're going to come back a day early, the 26th, to be tested. The players will, before action resumes on Monday. No Boxing Day games. Of course, obviously, that's not going to be the biggest priority. It's going to be making sure these players are coming back healthy, and they're going to go from there. Now, granted, by the time we recorded, Mike and I did earlier, we talked about how 11 teams had paused operations through the Christmas break. The league just said, you know what? It's too many. We had to cancel literally 2/3 of the schedule on Thursday before Christmas. Let's just kind of pause it for now. We can make these games up later. Mainly because of the fact that the NHL has pretty much, in a lesser way, have stated that they are not going to have players go to the Olympics. This is something that is rough. It's not easy. And it sucks. It really sucks because for the Olympic side of things, there's not been an official announcement yet. I must disclose that. However, it's seemingly going to happen. The league did everything it possibly could do to not have it be the case where they would have to step in and say something. They didn't want to be the ones to cancel. They wanted the players to do it. But that said, they understand that this is obviously a bigger issue because here's the thing. They can't worry about players going to Beijing and if they're going to test positive there, how they're going to be treated there. If they can barely have an issue and try to test negative here and be healthy here in North America in the NHL schedule. So pretty much what this means is the league had a fairly good idea of that. Hey, we're not going to go to the Olympics now, which means those 3 weeks after the All-Star break, if there's still an All-Star game, it's a great opportunity to make up a lot of these hockey games. A lot of games that have been postponed, not just this week, but in weeks prior. And now, obviously, all the games that are being postponed across the board, across the entire league, which would include I believe the Washington Capitals. They had a game on Thursday scheduled to take on the New York Islanders. Now, that game, yes, is postponed. As of right now, at the time I'm recording this, there is still a hockey game between the Washington Capitals and the Philadelphia Flyers on this Tuesday night. So we'll get to that game here in just a little bit of time. But long story short, it sucks. Really sucks. We're going to get into the game here in just a moment, but we're going to talk about the power play. We talked about how cold it went against LA. I'm going to show you. Well, I only really have one thing to show you, but I'm going to show you what the Capitals can do on the power play. I'm going to pull out the coach's board here in this one, kids, when we get after we preview the game. That'll be the last part of the show here tonight. And sorry, folks, I just had a quick thingamabob. My boss just texted me. So, anyways, sorry. Back to the long and short of it. What was I going to say? Oh, yeah. So we'll get to the game. Sorry, complete and utter nonsense. But first, guys, you listen to these podcasts for the power of knowledge. Listen to Locked On Capitals for knowledge of the Capitals. And you switch to Boost Mobile for the power of saving money. Because with Boost, you get the power of a free 5G phone so you can listen to all the latest episodes. The power of 3 unlimited data lines for $30 a month per line so your family can harness all that brain power as well. And the power of one of America's largest 5G networks so you can do it all at the speed of 5G. With all that money you'll save and all that knowledge you'll gain, how powerful will you become? Switch to Boost Mobile to find out. And you also get a free Samsung Galaxy A32 5G when you switch to one of America's largest 5G networks. More power to save at Boost Mobile. Free phone limited to new customers and one per line. Additional restrictions apply. Offers coverage not available everywhere for all phone networks. See boostmobile.com for the details. The Philadelphia Flyers. It's funny. I'm doing this recording right now, honestly wondering if this game is going to happen. It's a weird story, I know, because there's a chance. Now, yes, Michael Scarbosa, as we found out, his positive COVID test was a false positive, so he's good to go for the game. Carter Hart has just been out of COVID protocol as well, so that was good news for that this game happened, because I believe if the Flyers had one or two more positives, they would not be playing. This game would not be happening. So this is going to be an important game. Obviously, now it's pretty much all bets are off. There is no tomorrow, at least for a few days. Prior towards the holiday, I guess we should probably explain. I'm really interested to see how the Caps come out, because they came out good. They came out hard and fast against Los Angeles. They really came out well on that game on Sunday. I just think they missed out an opportunity. And it was a chance for them to win this hockey game and really kind of solidify the top spot in the Metropolitan Division. Now, they still do have a chance to do that. That right there is not an issue, because if they win, given the fact that I'm not sure if the Carolina Hurricanes play tomorrow, they're tied with Carolina right now in the division, 43 points each. Let me just quick pull up the schedule. For some reason, I didn't think about doing that. Score games tomorrow. The Canes don't play because their games were postponed. And so I'm really interested to see how hard they come out. The Philadelphia Flyers, of course, they're in a spot where they're playing better since they fired Alain Vigneault and Mike Yost came in. They've played a little bit better, but they haven't played great at the same time. They've been solid at times, but they've been, it's just the start of the season, they looked promising, but they had that huge 9-game losing streak. They just couldn't seem to buy a win. Now, granted, they had, like I said, they played better as of late. They've won 4 of their last 5 games, and against no slouches either. They've beaten the Vegas Golden Knights, and they've beat the Ottawa Senators and the Arizona Coyotes. So one real notable win so far in the last few games. They have dropped games to Colorado and Tampa in unfortunate, convincing fashion earlier this month. But they've been picking up wins, and that just gives them a little bit of momentum. And yeah, you're right. This is probably the best team that they're going to play, that they've played since December. I mean, I'll put Vegas back in the conversation, since December 10th. And this is an opportunity for them to really show that they can play well and play against some of the best teams in the league. How are they going to play, though? How tough are they going to be? I don't say tough to beat, because that just shows like, oh, this team is a cakewalk. Carter Hart, how healthy is he going to be? Or if that, are they going to play Martin Jones? Because remember, guys, during that losing streak for the Philadelphia Flyers, you really couldn't point at their goaltending and say it was their fault, right? That's, I think, the biggest thing. We thought Philly was going to be a real tough team. When these two teams met in the preseason, we thought, man, this could be some really interesting hockey games. Of course, they already have played this year. This was prior to their massive skid. That was back on November the 6th. They played, and it was a good hockey game, tight game, just Philly got the bounces they need. They end up winning 2-1. So on that way that the Flyers have the edge, and that was at Capital One Arena. This one, though, will be played at the Wells Fargo Center in Philadelphia. And those games, playing at Wells Fargo for some reason is just a wonky place. Like, it's just, for some reason, it can really go your way, or it can go really sideways for the Washington Capitals. Man, and the hard part is the Caps are still without some of their top guns, some of their top players. And I know what I said yesterday. I know. You don't have to try to podcast me. You don't have to come out and say, Tyler, you said no making excuses. I did say that. That's right. But that said, it is going to be tough for them. I'm not saying it's the reason why they're going to lose, but I'm saying it's going to be tough for them to get the goals because of the fact that they don't have Kuznetsov. They're not going to have TJ Oshie. They're not having Nicholas Backstrom. But they will be getting Michael Scarbosa back, who has some game experience. I don't know what that means for Joe Snively. I believe that means he may be the odd man out in this scenario. I really think you need to get more players in there that have experience, that have an ability to score, put the puck in the back of the net. I'm not quite sure what their plan is going to be with the power play moving forward. That's the hard part here. Because I really think there isn't... I mean, you go 0 for 6 on the power play, you got to figure out something. Will this be a good time to do it? Yeah, let's pull out the whiteboard. Sorry, this is kind of got a little bit scatterbrained right now because, like I said, I did the national show earlier today, recorded it earlier today on Monday, and then all of a sudden all this news broke. So let's focus it up here. Focus it up on the power play. Look at this lovely little whiteboard I got here. Yes, it's all in blue because I don't have a red marker on me right now. I think I do somewhere, but it's not out here. So, yes, face-off circles, there's the crease. Okay, so the Capitals, for those that don't know, they run an umbrella power play. An umbrella is very simple. It looks like an umbrella. You have your players kind of all across the top up here. So how does it work, kids? Well, I'm just going to write the number in right here. Ovechkin, right over here. That's where Ovechkin is, right up there. Maybe I got to write it a little bit bigger. Number 8, right there at the face-off circle, where he always is. And let's be honest, if this were a full board here, he'd probably be standing right around here in the neutral zone. Doesn't go into his own zone in the power play. We'll put Johnny Carlson here. I'm just going to mark it as an X, though. Man, this marker sucks. I tested these before the show and it just didn't quite work. Does this one work? How about this one? There we go. You can see that one a lot better. There's an X, and I'll draw Ovechkin in a little bit better. There you go. Yeah, doesn't look like an 8, but you know what? For me, holding it on my shoulder, there you go. All right, let's get back into frame here. So there's Johnny Carlson, and the big question is, usually this is where either Nicholas Backstrom or Evgeny Kuznetsov have been most of the season. Now, who would I put there for tomorrow night's game? Because those guys are out of it. We got to see a little bit of Daniel Sprong over there. We saw a little bit of Lars. Actually, Lars will be playing right down here. I like him down in that spot. He's a good mucker and grinder. Put him in front of the net. Okay. Now, who else would I put out there? Garnet Hathaway was not a bad idea. Put him out there in the bumper position up high. But I think you can go a little bit deeper there. I would really like to see a guy like Alexei Protas. Maybe, if anything, maybe either flip Protas and Eller around. So maybe put Alexei Protas 6'6" in front of the goal. And he has the hands, too, to kind of deflect shots. Kind of like how Anthony Mantha is. Unfortunately, Anthony Mantha, another guy that's out, recovering still from shoulder surgery. So that leaves this spot over here. Who do you put on that far side that can be an effective playmaker? Who is the guy, kids, that played 6 minutes and 6.25 minutes the other night, yet still scored a goal, was on the score sheet even though he played the least amount of minutes? That's right. Connor McMichael. We're putting 24 right there. So here we go. Once again, we got 74 up top. We have in the bumper position, we'll put Lars Eller there. And down low, we're going to have Alexei Protas, number 59. That's supposed to be a 59. You're going to have to deal with it. Ovechkin on the far side. All right? Because what kept happening, guys, on Sunday, it was very obvious. Hathaway's up here. They kept trying to move the puck over to Ovechkin as much as possible. And unfortunately, the LA Kings, along with most of the NHL, should have figured this out by now. That one-timer is going to happen. Garrett Sparks there in goal made it pretty obvious that he knew it was coming, making those one-timer saves pretty routine. And with not a whole lot of traffic in front, made it very easy as well. So what are we going to see tomorrow? What we need to see is more puck play coming from this side of the rink, over here. You need to find a way to make Ovechkin use Ovechkin as a decoy, but at the same token, realizing he's still there. I like when Lars Eller was down here. He tried to make a couple of plays in tight, trying to drive the puck towards the goal. because what you want to do if you're McMichael down here, you want to find a way to try to maybe do a little quick give and go play down low. That's why you have Eller drive the front here. And Alexi Protas, as we've seen, is a very good playmaker given his size. If you're a goaltender, you're seeing a guy at 6'6" in front of you. You're doing everything you can to try to get your way around him, look over top of him, look underneath him. They're playing Carter Hart. Carter Hart's not 6'6", kids. So use that to your advantage. Have Protas, if McMichael has the puck over here, like I said, we kept seeing it go up to Carlson, over to Ovechkin, wasn't working out. Okay. They tried that too many times yesterday. The Kings read it easily, and it really affected how the power play was going to run. So McMichael has the puck here. Bring Protas out here. Bring him down low. Give him that opportunity to give it down low. Have Eller creep in here, because what's going to happen is you have your defenseman down low, and you end up realizing they're going to kind of get puck watching. Every defenseman does it. Every defenseman in this league, no matter how good they are, will see the pass come down low, and they'll try to check their mirrors, as we call it, keep their head on swivel, try to see where everyone is, but they're going to kind of get attracted to the puck carrier a little bit. This guy's going to move to the middle. Eller creeps down low, and then you have that opportunity for that quick pass in front, chance for a goal right there for Lars Eller. And especially since he's a lefty, the one-timer is not going to be hard, but it can be quick on goal and not an easy save to make for the netminder. And with that, with everyone kind of collapsing down on Eller, that has the opportunity, if Protas realizes it, to quickly get it back up for McMichael. McMichael up for Carlson. Carlson across for Ovi, who's kind of creeping down a little bit, seeing that everyone's collapsing down low for the bang, bang, one-timer, beautiful tic-tac-toe play. Now, I know this gives me my best little John Madden impression here, but that's what needs to happen. There needs to be more options given to make Ovechkin not seem like the prime target, because right now teams are starting to pick that up. That's why Ovechkin, while he does lead the team in power play goals, it's not in the usual one-timer way that we've seen it in the past. Now, there's another way that I've really liked to have seen, maybe use a little bit more over the weekend, as I quickly try to erase here as best I can without having too much chicken scratch still on here. I want to see more. Like I said, the down low play would be great. Now, like I said, these are not going to be the five guys that are going to be out there the entire time. I understand that. Ovi's going to be the only one that does that, as we saw with the 4-minute power play. So back to the drawing board here. One play that I would like to see more of as well, to get, once again, if you want those point shots, you want these one-timers, you got to have the 4 penalty killers down low. What they tend to do nowadays, they run what I call a rotating box, where if the puck carrier is up here at Carlson, this guy will rotate up top. This guy will kind of come down here and protect McMichael. This lower defenseman will kind of creep up towards Alexander Ovechkin. What the penalty killers are starting to do, which like I said, reading it, they're kind of getting in the way a little bit of the lane to Ovechkin to make sure that pass comes over to the near side with usually the left-handed shot. So with that, use that to your advantage. They're kind of favoring that side. Once again, get it to McMichael, have McMichael creep down a little bit, and maybe have Carlson creep on over. That kind of forces an opportunity for maybe the defenseman here to kind of look down low into this corner. Because once again, you give McMichael moving the puck down, they start to collapse towards the box. You either have Eller kind of creeping in the middle as well. Carlson comes on over, drop it back up to the top. Ovechkin comes a little bit higher. You can at least get a point shot, and now you have Eller and Protas in front. All these forwards, all these penalty killers are kind of creeping to this side of the ice, and you have an opportunity for the hard cross-ice pass for the one-timer for Alex Ovechkin. That is something that I just want to see more creativity to try to get Ovechkin open, okay? Because they're still reading it. They're still realizing it. And like I said, when you move the puck over here, you need to start getting more chances. You need to get more chances on this near side, on the strong side of the puck. Because the more you see the Caps try to force that play to Ovechkin, that's why it wasn't working out. That's why they went 0 for 6 with the man advantage against the Kings. Because the Kings knew that, hey, all these guys are out. Who are they going to put the puck to? Number 8. Just take more chances. I know that they're not the most skilled guys are out there. I get that. I understand that. Geez, I'm just dropping caps everywhere. But what needs to happen is there needs to be more opportunities for you need to start trying harder. You need to start making a better play. You need to start using other players. McMichael being one. I know his numbers may not be great right now. He's been a little bit of a cold spell, but he scored the other night. I like that. And sometimes all you need is that one goal to maybe get that going, kind of get you a little bit of confidence in you. Maybe put him on the power play. He has the ability. He did it in London, had some moments earlier on this season. I think he could be a good weapon right now, especially in this scenario where you don't have all these top guys. You need to have someone out there. He's your guy. Give him a shot. So that is the coach's corner. Yeah, look at this. I decided to do it because I was thinking to myself, I was sick of watching how the power play went on Sunday. So I tried to explain it. And also B, of course, the All Madden special that is going to be aired on Fox on Saturday during Christmas Day, talking about the legend of John Madden. I still remember John Madden just doing the massive scribbling, like watching Monday Night Football or when he was doing games with Pat Summerall. Like the amount of fun stuff it would just be weird looking. It would look like chicken scratch by the end of it. So yeah, there you go. There's my best John Madden impression for you there. I hope you guys all heard all of it too. I do apologize. I know I was turning my head away a little bit, but I was just trying to make sure I got my point across to you. So if I sound a little quiet, just crank it up, and the rest of the time, just let your ears suffer. You guys listen to me enough as it is. You were probably already suffering as we talk right now. So what we'll do here is we'll get to the scores that are happening on this Monday night. I'm watching a wild 1989 game right now between the Dallas Stars and the Minnesota Wild. 5 goals were scored in the first period. 3 of them came from Dallas. They're up 4-2 right now on a 4-on-3 power play. Games get a little physical. Someone clearly said, I'm like, hey, remember, these guys were the old team that were here, so fight them. I'm not sure that's how the conversation went in the plane or in the locker room, but I'm pretty sure plenty of folks in St. Paul and the Twin Cities up there still hold a little bit of angst and a little bit of anger towards whenever they see the Dallas Stars in the local paper or the local news. So I'm pretty sure they'd be happy to see a little bit of physicality in this one. So with that, we'll get to the scores here in just a moment, guys. But I got to remind you that BetOnline has you covered all season with more props, odds, and lines than ever before as football season continues its march to the playoffs. BetOnline remains your number one spot for all the sports action this season. Head to their new updated desktop or mobile website to sign up today and receive your 50% welcome bonus on your first deposit by using the promo code LOCKEDON to receive the bonus. From basketball, football, boxing, UFC, your favorite Vegas casino games up to the National Hockey League, do not wait to take advantage of all the amazing offers available for the 21-22 season. BetOnline is the fastest and easiest way to bet on all of your favorite sports. BetOnline, that is where the game starts. So, the games on Monday. Only one game, that is this Minnesota and Dallas game. Dallas is up 4-2. Oh, and Minnesota almost just scored. Got it on right now, Marcus Foligno. I'm not going to do play-by-play. Nope, that's for my other gig that I do. I can't do it. I could do it, but I'm pretty sure you people do not want to hear that. It's Locked On Capitals anyways. Give you the 2 games that are still on tap for tonight. My gosh, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 games were postponed that were supposed to happen tomorrow night. The Ottawa Senators postponed, and the New Jersey Devils and Pittsburgh Penguins added that to the list. That came out today. Of course, Columbus and Buffalo were supposed to play Monday night. They did not because, once again, COVID issues. So the only other game going to be on 10 o'clock, that'll be the Tampa Bay Lightning visiting Las Vegas Golden Knights. So the league is trying everything it can to tell players to stay safe and not go out anywhere. But how can you think of it if it's your last game before the Christmas break, if you're the Tampa Bay Lightning, and not go out to Las Vegas? Like, the league should have saw that and said, you know what, no more games after tonight, because we don't need the defending Stanley Cup champions to get stuck in Vegas with a bunch of COVID issues and whatnot. But we'll just hope and pray for their safety. How about that, eh? So let's look at the, I don't say the upcoming schedule now, because right now it's unforeseen for the Washington Capitals. But as of right now, we'll bear through it here. Obviously, the game against New York on Thursday is canceled. Monday would be their next game after tomorrow night against the Ottawa Senators. They'll be playing on Wednesday against the Nashville Predators, who, despite all the COVID issues they have had, this team has been resilient. I've really been excited to see the Nashville Predators. UC Saros is playing. I don't want to go full-scale Vezina candidate yet, but boy, he is putting the effort in right now. They've won 7 in a row, guys. I mean, even as hot as the Colorado Avalanche were getting, they didn't even win 7 in a row. The Preds are doing something, and man, it's beginning to look a lot. I'm not going to say the 16-17 team, because you guys have to remember that team was the second wild card team. That team should not have, that was an 8 seed, the Nashville Predators. This is more looking like the 17-18 team where just they've been dominant. They've looked dominant. Now, you can say because they played teams with depleted lineups, whatever have you. Oh, my goodness, what a save by Cam Talbot. Oh, my God. This game is wild, guys. No pun intended, Minnesota Wild. But I've really liked the way Nashville's played, and they're hanging in there. I mean, if Minnesota wins this one, obviously they would extend their lead in the Central. They got some work to do. Dallas, a little bit down there right now, despite being above 500. I mean, they're 6th in the division at 14-12-2. But I've really liked the Predators played. Ottawa, it's been a tough go for them. I think there is some better possible opportunities. There is, I mean, I think they could have played better at times. They've showed some spunk, but you can tell they're a year or two away. And I know some people are saying, oh, they should fire the coach. I'm like, no, this is a rebuilding team. The Detroit Red Wings have had Jeff Blashill for, gosh, 15, 16. Well, so if you want to talk about since they've stopped making the playoffs, that would be the 16-17 season. So yeah, it's been that many years since the Wings have been to the playoffs. So yeah, not an easy go there for the Caps. Then speaking of the Red Wings, they take on the Detroit Red Wings on New Year's Eve in Detroit, their annual New Year's Eve game. Something I've been in the arena on New Year's Eve when they played, and I got to meet Erik Karlsson and Joe Thornton that way when they played the Sharks back in 2019. Yep, 2019, kids. What a time that was to be alive. That is it, folks, for this edition of Locked On Capitals. I am Tyler Kuehl, the insider of the insiders. Be sure to follow us at Locked On Caps. Make sure you also follow me on Twitter at TJKU29 on Twitter, Instagram, and TikTok. Yes, that is correct. I am on TikTok. It's okay. Be sure to, of course, watch or check out my appearance on today's episode of Locked On NHL, where we dive into a lot of things. We dive into the COVID issues, obviously, some good news, and the power rankings of the Eastern Conference. We give Mike DiStefano and I get into that. Check that out as well on the Locked On NHL YouTube channel and wherever you get your podcast. I will also be providing, starting next week as well, next Monday, Locked On World Junior coverage. It'll be on Locked On NHL, but it'll be Locked On NHL World Junior updates every single day with a couple of friends stopping by to help me break down the best prospects that are in this tournament as well. So that'll be some fun stuff starting up next week. We will see you all tomorrow, recap the game, and yeah, we're going to try to get through all 5 days this week. It won't be easy. I will probably be talking about COVID because what else are we going to talk about? We'll see you next time, guys, here on Locked On Capitals.